This is Darabon from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you, and I'm here at Anime Expo 2011, and I'm here with
Earl Bishop, the project coordinator for Mechanized Propulsion Systems Incorporated.
Now, I understand you're building a giant robot here today. Now, can you tell the beings throughout the galaxy about your quest for world domination with your giant robot?
World domination by way of giant robots, yes. We are developing a machine that should hopefully be useful in commercial, industrial, and military purposes. Military eventually. We're not officially building anything yet. Thank you, government observers.
Now, I understand that your current presentation here is for the construction industry, and me as a predatory lender are quite interested in the real estate and development industries. Now, your presentation shows that you can help with high-rise buildings. How does this robot actually potentially help the building of high-rise structures?
The idea would be to create something that is much more like a human being would do in the way that it interacts with the materials and this construction, and you would be doing it at a much larger scale. A lot of times you have an abstraction issue between the control of a vehicle instead of what you would do as a human being. It's really easy to pick something up and put it on a shelf. It's a little more difficult to do that with a forklift. So the idea is that our system completely separates the control aspect from the way that the machine actually works. This allows it to adapt to new environments, the way that the system is operating over a period of time, and it allows one person to do many different jobs with the same machine.
So is this a completely automated system, or is it more like a power suit where you would actually have an operator actually running the system?
You do have an operator running the system. We have a human pilot. The pilot sits in the torso of the machine. The idea behind this is to take anything that would be irritating or difficult for the pilot to manage on a regular basis and completely separate it. So those parts of the systems are autonomous. The parts of the systems that are controlled by the pilot are deliberate actions, going somewhere and doing something, or overriding the system. If the system wants to put a foot in a specific spot, the operator can tell the machine to put it somewhere else.
Okay. Now, one of the issues that they've had with various ideas like this in the past is power usage. Now, how are you going to deal with those power issues? Because most of the time they can't keep something like this going for more than like 20 minutes or so. How long could your thing operate on a particular fuel tank charge or whatever? I mean, is it gas or what's the particular power issues with this vehicle?
The power source we're currently using, we have two internal combustion engines. They operate off of standard pump gasoline. If the engines break, you can go to an automotive store and buy replacement parts for it. The reason for this approach is it's much more efficient, it's less expensive, and there's really no point in developing a power system when you want to make a giant robot. So because of that, you have a limitation strictly by the amount of fuel you can carry. This was actually a huge problem. We were one of the early participants in DARPA's EHPA project, Enhanced Human Performance Augmentation, which is literally building power suits. They started this back in about 2000. We already kind of had our thing going. We were kind of a garage project, but it worked out for us. The requirements that they had were 4 to 24 hours of operation, and we fit within that scope with a fuel tank that is around 500 gallons. So we have the ability to transport and use the vehicle with as little as 150 gallons, and you still get an 8-hour day of full performance out of it.
Wow, 8 hours is great. Now, because of the physical size, we're looking at the foot. The foot is approximately 6 feet. How tall will this finished robot actually be?
About 18 feet. We actually have the lower leg here section completely compressed. This is actually landing gear from a DC-9 aircraft. The reason for the compression is because it's really difficult to transport robotic parts of this scale through normal vehicles. We have a V10 truck, but that's about as far as we can go with it. So short of having a semi to haul this thing around, this guy right here is representative of the scale for the Mark II. We are looking at about 21 feet tall for the Mark II. The Mark I was in that range. We may be a little bit shorter for the Mark II. When this machine is completed, we've got about 5-6 months of labor. You're talking about another year. We will start on the Mark III, and the Mark III will be about 15 to 18 feet tall.
Now, when the final product is actually out there, now compared to a conventional tractor or something from Caterpillar or one of those things, how does your prices for one of these robots actually compare in cost versus a traditional, well, it looks like you're mainly doing lifting like a forklift. How does this compare in cost or investment versus the price of a regular tractor or something?
Why would anybody go with a giant robot when you can buy a Caterpillar? We actually have answered this question ourselves. The equipment that is available from Caterpillar, we can utilize. We're designed to adapt to whatever is in the marketplace. We're currently engineering for things that Caterpillar readily has available. So anything that's in the market now, you don't lose. If you've already bought accessories to your equipment or you have existing equipment, you can use that for this. The price point for the machine is significantly less than large construction equipment, but the biggest margin of approach on this is in the military scope. We are extremely economical in the range of limited standoff type small vehicles. And that's what our research leads us to believe. By research, I mean guys that actually work on attack helicopters, drive M1A1 tanks, and also a guy who's a history buff that for some reason thinks MPS is the next big thing. As far as construction equipment, we have the capability to do multiple jobs. So you're talking about one machine that does 5 or 6 different jobs, the same operator. The difference for large construction companies is you only have to buy one machine instead of 5. The difference for logistics companies is you have something that can not only unload from a vehicle, but can also actually stack the stuff in a warehouse.
Damn, man, this is great. This is turning into a kick-ass interview. So, for military applications, you mentioned that you didn't have any. What if the thing actually got tipped over? Would it be able to get back up on its own? Because that's one of the problems that walking devices have had on TV shows like BattleBots and stuff. Once they get knocked over, they can't get back up, and the traditional roller base or car vehicles can quickly run circles around.
Right, kind of the turtle scenario. For us, the vehicle would use similar means that you would as a human being. You reposition your feet under your center of gravity and you lift upwards. You use your arms and other objects around you to assist you in this endeavor. The machine works exactly the same way. The balance is managed by proprioceptive feedback, and the system has everything in mind as far as what it has available to do this. If it has 4 arms instead of 2, it has the ability to address that. We have got very open architecture in the way we designed our AI. It's designed to adapt to whatever the machine's physical state is.
Now, if investors, because my show is typically an investor show, if they were looking to find out more and particularly invest in your company, would you say you're in the venture round, or are you actually public yet? Can people buy stock in you, or is it strictly a venture capitalist or pre-market type thing?
We're probably past the angel phase. I'd say we're probably pushing the edge of venture, honestly. We're not public. There's no plans to go public within the next, say, 5 years or so. We are an internally funded project, but we own our own facilities. We have our own machine shop. We own everything that's built for the machine, and we own all the intellectual property. So if investors were looking to get details, they could definitely email us. We have investor relations. The address is available on our website as well, mechaps.com, mechaps.com, but investors at mechaps.com would be the way to get a hold of us.
Well, I'm a particular bond investor by trade. Do you actually have any corporate bonds available as well, available to the public?
That is not currently structured, no.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the viewers throughout the galaxy about your next quest for world domination with your giant robot?
I would say prepare to welcome your incredibly large, gigantic robotic overlords.
Okay. So in closing, this is Jarbon from the Predatory Lender, along with
Earl Bishop
from the Predatory Lending Network, talking to you.